All right, first and foremost, I want to say call all Yahweh Bashem Shai. What I just said is all praises to the Father in the name of the Son. I also want to say Yahweh Bashem Shai Barakatah, may the Most High in Christ bless. So pretty much like the video say, I'm just going to break down Isaiah 13. This chapter is a little bit more intricate than my normal approaches to breaking down the scriptures, man. Obviously, what's going to happen is starting at Isaiah 13:1 in a blue letter, that we working our way through the scriptures like usual. I do got a lot of teaching notes here written. This 1 page, 2 page, 3 pages, all on this 22 verse chapter. So you're just gonna have to either, I might do it in 2 parts, go all the way down to verse 10, depending on time. Go down to verse 10, then then from there go on to a second part. But I'm not sure whether or not I want to do this. But some footnotes that I want to go into first and foremost with Isaiah 13:1. So it says, Isaiah 13:1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, right? So we got to look at this and see who is this talking about, right? Because Babylon, right? Babylon is something that came, or the Babylonian Empire, Nebuchadnezzar, right? They came after the time of Isaiah, man, right? They came, Isaiah's ministry pretty much was from 740 BC to 700 BC, right? The Babylonians didn't rise to power until about 100 years after that, man, right? Nebuchadnezzar became king around 605 AD, right? And Judah went into the Babylonian captivity around 597 AD. So he prophesied the downfall of Babylon before they even took rulership, man, right? And this scripture, these scriptures, the whole chapter is whether twofold, or it's about Babylon, or it's about America the Great. And then in some instances, it's not even about either Babylon. You know what I mean? Right? It's going to be about the ideologies of Babylon, man. Right? And we're going to see that through the Spirit, man. Well, let me get this up here. Maybe it could be better if I got a facial view of myself here, so it don't look like I'm looking off to the side the whole time. Right? So we're gonna get right into that, right? And deal with it. So this is like I said, Isaiah 13 verse 1, right? It says the burden of Babylon, right? So let's go into this word burden here, right? And that's Mashah, right? That is burden, song, prophecy, set, exaction, carry away, tribute, right? It says load bearing, tribute, burden, lifting, load bearing, lifting, uplifting, that to which the soul lifts itself up, bearing, carrying, tribute, that which is carried or brought or borne, utterance, oracle, burden. We want to deal with this oracle here, man, right? Because we see here in Isaiah 13:1, it says the burden of Babylon. So it's basically saying the oracle judgment, pretty much, of Babylon, right? Which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, right? And this Babylon here is twofold, man. It's not just about America. It's not just about Babylon, man. It's about both, right? The whole chapter is not about both, but the introduction or the introductory into what it's talked about is it's about both, man, right? And let's just show you the second Babylon that it's talking about. So this is Revelation chapter 18 verse 2, right? It says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and become the habitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and every in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, right? So we see here, this is that strong voice, man, talking about Babylon, man, right? This ain't the same Babylon that's talked about here in Isaiah 13, but it is, right? Isaiah 13 talks about Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonian Empire and America. Revelation 18 talks more so about America, right? And the ideology of America. So when we see that, man, we can see that this ain't just talking about just Babylon. And if we even go into Revelation 17, where it talks about the great whore that sitteth upon waters, right? And then we see 18, all that. It goes hand in hand with this here, man, right? And then let's go back into this really quick, right? So this H 894 that we're gonna go into for Babylon, right? Which is it says Babylon, Babylonian, or Babel, right? The word in Hebrew is Babal, Babel, right? So the word is typically meaning Babel, right? And it says Babel or Babylon, confusion by mixing, and you gotta like how it says that confusion by mixing. That lays out kind of the narrative for Isaiah 13. I'm saying 15 because of what was coming in it. But yeah, man, it lays out how in Babylon, man, it's full of confusion, man, or as a pot, a melting pot where everybody comes together, right, and mixes, right. This is why they push in the interracial relationship things, man. That's why it's being forced pretty much in a sense, man. Black women is being forced into white men's hands, right, and white women, while black men are taking on white women, man, at a high rate, because that's what the narrative is, man. They trying to continue to keep the black family divided by all this podcast media and stuff that we have nowadays, man. Right? So before I go any further in verse 1, we're going to go ahead on to verse 2, right? So this is Isaiah 13, verse 2. It says, lift ye up a banner, right? So it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, man. Right? What does it mean when it's saying lift up a banner, man? Right? We could see like in the Valley of Dry Bones in Ezekiel 37:10, right? It says, put it in your hands, right? For a sign, right? So we going out to these nations with these words, man. Lift ye up a banner is talking about words, man. Not actually coming out here with a sign, man. Right? And it is signage in a sense, but it's more so about speaking out against the wickedness, man. Let's get this, Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. So when it says, lift ye up a banner upon a high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles, this is talking about reproving our people to come back. That's why Isaiah 58 says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up the voice like a trumpet, because we're supposed to be showing our people their sins, man. Right? And then even if we go into Revelation again, right, and then we're going to go to verse 4, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Right? This is the lifting up the banner, man. This is what's initially being spoken of when it's talking about lifting up a banner, right? So like so then we're going to go here. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, son of man, I had made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words at my mouth and give them warning from me. So we're supposed to hearken to the words and give the children of Israel warning. Huh? Right? This is what lift ye up a banner is talking about, man. This is all in here, man. We're going to go into this chapter a lot, man. So I'm actually going to just leave this open. Jeremiah 51 is hand in hand with Isaiah 13, man, and Revelation 17 and 18, man, right? And Second Ezra 13, or not 13, Second Ezra 16, 15 and 16, man. All goes hand in hand, man. So this is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 12. Let me get this out here to make a note where I left off, right? So it says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. So it's saying, look, we got to set the standard up, right? Make the watch strong. I have made thee a watchman right? Set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, right? So we getting ready for war, man. Right, this is what we teach, man. We got to prepare ourselves in a righteous standard so that we can present ourselves worthy to fight for the Lord, man. Right, so because it says, "For Yahweh have both devised and done that which He speaketh against the inhabitants of Babylon." So the Most High, He already did it against Babylon, right? But now this is talking about how He's gonna do that in here in America, right? We're gonna have to see the destruction of America, and our people gonna die with them, man. Right? Um, let's go to this next verse, right? It's gonna be intricate, man, and we're gonna get a lot of precepts. We're not gonna shy away from the precepts, man. We're gonna get as many precepts as needed to get the point across, man. So this is Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. That's talking about in verse 2 it says, lift up a banner upon the high mountain, man. Right? Where was that just at? I just got rid of Jeremiah. I didn't want to do that, but it's rather here nor there, right? I can go back, right? So we alarm in the heart, we sound an alarm in the holy mountain by using our voice, man, and let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh. It is, for it is nigh at hand. The Most High's day is coming, man. Right? We're gonna actually go back into this in another verse, man. But right now we just going back here. We're going here. Right. Matthew 24, verse 14. It reads, Salakia, it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Right? This gospel is preached amongst all the world, right? Not even just in Babylon, but all throughout the four corners of the earth, man. So we see that this is we still coming and preaching the gospel, man. That's what crying aloud, sparing not, man. Right? The gospel is that He's gonna appoint in Zion a deliverer, man, and for the brokenhearted and mend them, man. Right? This is what we're trying to do, man. Right? And it says, and then shall the end come. So we preaching now the gospel, man, because the end is near, man. Right? And then one more. Because we just setting the standard of what setting or what it says. It says lift ye up a banner. We're setting what that means up for lifting up the banner, man. So this is Proverbs chapter 1 verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates in the city she uttereth her words, saying. Right? So we see that wisdom is going to be out on the block, not behind the four walls, man. Right? And that's what the men or the prophets is doing out here today, man. We spreading the gospel or we teaching the word, man. Right? We being prophets of the Lord, man, by prophesying the downfall of this place, Babylon, the so-called great, man, or America, man. Right? This is what we do. Right? So continuing on, in verse 3, I got all that out, right? So now we have verse 3, right? It says, Isaiah 13, verse 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Right? So He commanded His sanctified ones. That's the Israelites. Right? And He says, I have also called my mighty ones. So that's a differentiation between just the sanctified ones, but the mighty ones, the men of war, the men of valor, for His anger. Right? So that's why you see in Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression make a wise man mad. Right? And again, destroy the heart. Right? We understand that the Lord is setting us up for this, man. The Lord put it in our heart to be the ones that's going out there for His anger, man. And it says, even them that rejoice in my highness, because we keep the law, statutes, commandments, man. We rejoicing in His highness, man. Right? So, and the notes I have written down here is the teachers are the mighty ones, man. Them that rejoice in His highness, man. Right? Exactly like that. The prophets, man. Right? The elders, man. The ones who paved the way for us. We are the mighty ones, the sanctified ones, man. Right? And you can't get around that, man, because no other pastor or preacher is doing what the Israelites do, bringing out the truth according to the Bible, not sparing nobody feelings, man. That's mighty ones for anger, for His anger, man. Right? let's dive into that a little bit, right? Right? If you know Hebrews 4, you should know where I'm going into. Hebrews 4 and 12. It says, "For the word of God is quick and powerful," right? Right, where is it at? I was just reading it, but it kind of did a scroll. Y'all keep on seeing that. But it says, "For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and the joints of marrow, and is a discerner of thoughts and the intents of the heart." This is why we bring out the word and we don't actually come out with our own vain philosophies and doctrines, man. Because if we just um, came out with our own vain philosophies and doctrines, man, then we wouldn't be cutting nobody up, man. We wouldn't be exhorting the Most High's anger, man. Right? We saying, "Thus saith the Lord," man. "Thus saith the Holy Bible, man." Right? And then this is something that the Most High have ordained us from the beginning, right? This is Jeremiah 1 verse 5. It says, "Behold, I formed thee in the belly," right? It says, "Salakia, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest out," Salakia, "before thou camest out forth out the womb, I sanctified thee." This is a sanctification process, man. The Lord chose us from the beginning, man. We were sanctified from the womb, man. "And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." The Lord always did this, man. He did it with Jeremiah, and this was when he expressed it, man. But it's been ongoing forever, man. The Lord is omnipotent, man, omnipresent, man. And he is nothing that we could do that ain't already ordained by the Lord, man. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man didn't understand his own way, right? The Lord devises the man's steps, right? This is what we see here, man. The Lord devises our steps, right? So we got to go with what it says, man, and we gonna deal with it. The Lord ordained us from the womb, man, right? Jeremiah 1 and 5, right? And then again, this one here, Jeremiah 51, right? And then it says that he prepared his mighty ones for anger, right? Jeremiah 51 verse 20. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 19. "The portion of Jacob is not like them. He is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh Tazabawa is his name," right? So we see that the Lord put Jacob in that position, and it says, "Thou art my battle axe and my weapons of war. For with thee I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms," man. So the Lord said that he's going to use us for war, man. Not in this end time, man, but he's going to use it for war, man, after the kingdom is established, man. Right? Ezekiel 36 and 37 and 38 and 39 too, man. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably not 37 or 36, but it's 38, 39, and 40, man. The Lord going to use us to fight against the Gog and Magog, man. Yahweh Shai did it alone. That's what the scriptures say, man. And that's why Yahweh Shai is our deliverer, man, because he's going to deliver us, man. So we see that the Lord have appointed his holy ones for his anger, man. He sanctified them for his anger, man. Right? His mighty ones, actually. We see that, and he reiterated, man, that he's going to use us to break in pieces the nations, man. And what we really do is that with the words, man. We come with the words of the Lord to break in pieces the nations, man. They can't handle it, man. Right? And then that's just setting us up for the eventual downfall of America, the so-called great, right? Let's get this one right. Psalm 149 and the last verse. Or no, actually it's not the last verse. Like is Psalm 149 and 6 to the last verse. So it says, "Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hands." Exactly reiterating what Hebrews 4 said. And it says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people. So this is this punishments upon the people is talking about us doing judgment in the kingdom, man. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. This is talking about taking them into slavery, man, to other nations, man. Right? And it says to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, praise ye Yahweh, man. The saints, the children of Israel, man. We have that duty, man. We get to judge the nations, man. Revelations 2 and 21, man. Right? We see it, man. I'm not getting these precepts that I'm calling out. Rather, I'm just letting it be out there because I already have so many precepts that I got to get. It may be problematic if I freely get off the hip the precepts that I want to get. It will make this video probably 5 hours long. I'm not trying to go for 5 hours. I'm trying to just get this done as quickly as possible, but I might have to do it into 2 parts. So it is here nor there, right? And I'm currently sitting at 20 minutes, right? And I'm verse 3. So we see how it works, man. Right? That's how it works every time, man. But it is what it is. The word got to come out. So this 2 Corinthians, why did I spell wrong? 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." So we not actually fighting a physical war, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, because we break down these doctrines that's taught, like with the Isaiah 56 breakdown that I did, man. They teach that all nations can be saved, man, through the guise of Isaiah 56, man. And I disproved that with Isaiah 56 and the precepts that was written, man. Right? From 1 to 8, man. They believe that. So we have to break down or cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge, right, of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, man. Right? This is what we try to do, man, but these other nations, they don't really understand it, man. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. "But the souls of the righteous," oh no, this is actually chapter 3. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no accounts of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for," man. So the Lord says that we're going to come back, man. And we're going to stand in great boldness against the people that afflict us, man. Like it says here, man. "I have commanded my sanctified ones, and I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger," man. This is just going hand in hand with that, man. So, verse 4, right? It says, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains." What does that sound like? Right? Like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh Tazabawa mustereth the host of the battle. Right? So this is talking about not Israel, man. Right? This is talking about the other nations coming up against America, man. It's a perfect precept saying about the head is against the horns are against the head, man. Right? Let's get into some of this, though, right? Let's get it. What did I just type? Where was I typing it? Revelation 18:10. It says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment coming," man. Right? So you see in the vibes that is given in 1 hour, man. Right? It's going to be quick judgment. Verse 17, "For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she made desolate." Quick judgment, man. 3 verses that saying that is going to be a quick judgment, man. Right? Let's go back into Joel. But a different chapter this time. So this is Joel chapter 3, verse 2. It says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land." Right? So these other nations, this ain't going hand in hand with Babylon's destruction. This is going into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? That's a different situation after Babylon is destroyed, right? This is after they turn, right? So they're going to be battling in Jehoshaphat, but it's still saying, man, that it's going to be a great noise and a tumultuous noise of the nations, of the kingdoms of the nations, man. The other nations going to come together and start fighting, man. But first they're going to fight against America to destroy it, and then they're going to go against each other and start fighting against one another, man. Right? And then let's go here Verse 9, it says, proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. So we see that it's talking about the other nations coming together and fighting amongst each other, man. Not the children of Israel, man. So when we get into this Isaiah 13 and 4, man, that has nothing to do with Israel, man. It has to do with the other nations coming and destroying Babylon, man. We see, and I gotta make this point, man. We see during the time of Babylon when what was it, Nebuchadnezzar died, man. He died at the hand of Cyrus, if I'm not mistaken, man. Right? Cyrus killed Nebuchadnezzar. So therefore, or him dying in battle, man, that ain't all nations fighting, man. It was a swift and sudden judgment for Nebuchadnezzar, man. Right? He was trying to get the people who prophesied to him to tell him something different, man, and he couldn't handle it, man. Then he had to die, man. Right? We see it ain't talking about the same thing, man. So where was I just at? I should have been marking my progress as I went along, right? So we just at there. Okay, Joel 3, 2, 9, and 11. Okay, there where I left off, right? So Jeremiah again. Well, we could just go here, even though it's not in the same chapter. Right, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, right? An assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Right, so this is actually saying how it's going to be done, man. They're going to be destroyed, man, by the other nations. And this ain't necessarily talking about that's talking about America. Can't get around that. That's talking about America, right? It a lot of times is what we see with Babylon's destruction, which is pre-Babylon, not current Babylon. You get twofold prophecies. You get some prophetic notions about just Babylon, and then you get some prophetic notions just about America, man. In this chapter, we're going to express what these are, man, and Isaiah 13, obviously. So this is Revelation 17, verse 16, right? And it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her up and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled." So this even says that the 10 horns going to destroy America, man. Those who hated the head, man, against the head, man, right? So we see it, man. We see that they're going to go and destroy her and burn her with fire, man. You can't get around that, man, right? I got Jeremiah's. Dang this. Okay, I got one more. And then I don't really want to say it this way, but we know that Obadiah is about Esau. And if you got the spirit, you should know that Babylon ain't talking about Babylonians, man. It's talking about America, man. This is a Babylon the Great, right? In some instances, yes, it's about ancient Babylon, but then most instances it's talking about America. So when I'm going to Esau's destruction to point out the fall of Babylon, you gotta understand Esau is running Babylon right now, so it goes hand in hand. So this is Obadiah verse 15. It says, "For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head." So This even says that the Lord's going to judge all the other nations too, man. And it says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain," so the blood of the saints is what they drunken off of, man. "And so shall the heathen drink continually." So the heathen, after Babylon is destroyed, America is destroyed, the heathen gonna continue to drink of that blood, pretty much, man, or be drunken with that, man. Right? Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So the Lord says that He's going to destroy these people for that, man. Right? So now we're going on to verse 5, right? It says, Isaiah 13, verse 5, it says, "They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land," man. Right? This kind of sounds like Israel, man. I even insinuated that this was Israel when I brought it out last, man. But this is about the other nations, man. Right? We see through the last precept that I brought out that it's dealing with the other nations, man. Right? Let's get a precept to back this up, though, right? Oh, I shouldn't even do it that way. Second Ezra, verse 16. Obviously, chapter 16. So second Ezra 16. We're going to 13. "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world," right? So the Lord is sending these with the other nations. Israel not coming with no ICBM missiles, man. Right? Israel, the children of Israel, we ain't got the artillery, man. Right? The Lord is going to use the other nations to do this, man, which makes sense. Right? It goes in line with the scripture, man. We're going back to Jeremiah 50. We're going to go to verse 25, right? It says, "Yahweh hath opened his armory and brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh, Yahweh Tazabawa, in the land of the Chaldeans," man. Right? So this is saying that the Lord is going to cause Babylon to be destroyed, man. Right? But not with the children of Israel, man. We got to be saved out of Babylon, and then it's going to be destroyed, man. Right? Actually, we're going to be saved from the four winds of the earth, the righteous of Israel, and then the Babylon is going to be destroyed, right? The Lord is not going to spare these people, man. Right? I don't want to go back to Isaiah 13, but that's fine. I think I got 50:25, so let's go here to Isaiah again. Right, so this is Isaiah 6:15. No. Oh no, that's Isaiah 66. So this Isaiah 66 verse 15. "For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebukes with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many." Right? So the Most High going to be doing this work, man. The Lord going to come with fire, man, and he going to use the other nations in his indignation, man. To change the world, man, with rebukes of flame of fire, man. Esau got to go first, though, man. Right? Isaiah 66:15, Jeremiah 59. I got that already, man. I got that in the last verse. I'm not getting it again. I got a lot of verses that's repeated because the chapter reiterates a lot of the same things, man. So this Isaiah 9:5, it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." So the Lord is going to break this place down with burning, basically, man. Right? And the children of Israel don't have that ability to do stuff like that, man. Right? We don't. We can't say that, oh yeah, we could get our artillery together and go against Esau. That ain't gonna happen, man. Right? So Isaiah 13, verse 6. We go up to verse 2, man. We see the same instance, man. Like it's reiterated, man. So is it's just a more disparate, or crying type thing, man. So this they in pain, right, in this situation, man. So this Isaiah 3 and 6, it says, "How ye for the day of Yahweh is at hand, and it shall come as destruction from Almighty." Right. So this is this ain't talking about what verse 2 is talking about. Technically, it is, but it's not, man. Because this is saying like they're gonna wail and weep and gnash their teeth, man. Right? We cry out, we howl out for the day of the Lord is at hand, but it's not technically going into that, right? We use this to show that the day of the Lord is at hand, but it's not necessarily talking about that. It's talking about the destruction is here. Y'all better start crying, man. Right? Let's get these right. I'm already one page through, and it's 35 minutes. I might be able to finish this. So this is Joel chapter 1, verse 15. Alas, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, and as destruction from Almighty shall it come. Right? Talking about the day of destruction from the Lord, man. Right? It's clear. I'm just not leaving any room to leave out precepts in this thing, man. Right, we gonna cover every aspect. It's almost like a WFI thing, man. When we gonna go into every aspect of the video to break it down, man. Right, we not going into every word like WFI would, man. But we gonna break this thing down wholeheartedly so that we can get the message of it, man. So this Amos chapter 5 verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light, man. So we see this, man. We don't want to. The other nations, they saying, man, this place almost done. We ready to get America done with, right? Woe to America, right? They want this, man, right? This ain't fitting for the saints, man. Unless this ain't fitting for the righteous saints, I should say, man, or the righteous children of Israel. This is fitting for the other nations and the wicked Israelites, man. Because what end is it for the wicked Israelites, man, or the other nations, man? It's darkness, not light, man. After that, the fighting is done, man. Right? They gonna be getting chased and brought out of the holes, man. Right? So, give me 1 second. Excuse me. There's gotta be something in this room that make my allergies start going crazy, man. Once I came home, my allergies been on fire, man. Right? Let's continue on though. This is just Satan trying to get me down. We're not gonna let Satan win today, right? So let's get it. So there's Zephaniah 1:14. It says, the great day of Yahweh is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. So it says the mighty man is going to even be crying, weeping and wailing, howling, man. Can't handle himself, man. Because when the day of the Lord comes, these people not going to know what to do. Right? They not going to know what's next. Right? If you read the Bible, you're going to understand, man. But these people, they don't read, man. I'm not getting this. I don't even know why it's written down. Right? Okay. Going back to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 7, it says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, verse 8, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Right? So this is going into how these people ain't going to have no stability of mind, man. Right? They're going to be in fear. And fear and doubt shall be above all the days of their life, man. They're going to have them curses, like it says in Deuteronomy 30, applied to them, man. Right? Double for what they did to the children of Israel, man. Right? They get that double destruction, man. Destruction, the curses is what brought Israel to his destruction, man, because we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So these other nations, they're gonna be in it, man. This is one right here, man. Life shall hang in fear and doubt, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life. Right? This is what this is. This ain't the curses ain't on the heathen yet, man. But they starting to fit that, man. Right? Pangs and sorrows is going into pain, man. Sorrow, man, crying. Right? You hurt. Right? And a lot of people, they probably might be hurt because their best friend in America died, their favorite streamer might have died, or whatever it is, man. But it's the Lord, man. Right? Let's get this right. Ezekiel, let's see. Let's get it. Ezekiel 21, verse 7. It says, "And it shall be when they say unto thee, Wherefore sighest thou? Right? Thou shalt answer for the tidings, because it cometh, and every heart shall melt, and all hands shall be feeble, and every spirit shall faint, and all knees shall be weak as water. Behold, it cometh, and shall be brought to pass, saith Yahweh, Adonai Yahweh." So it says that the knees gonna be weak as water, man. That's a great analogy, man. Because when you try and stand on water, what do? You sink. If you're gonna try and use your knees to support you, you're gonna fall over, man. They're saying that they're gonna be weak. They ain't gonna have no ground to stand on, man. The pride of the heathen is gonna dismay, man. The arrogancy of the proud shall cease, man. I think that's actually in this chapter, man. Right? We don't see any other iteration of this happening, man. Right? I would go into the other tab I have open, but this is like too many chapters behind. I don't want to really get away from 50 and 51 in Jeremiah. So this is Jeremiah 30, verse 6. It says, "As ye ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child." Why is it asking if a man is having children? Is a man having travail with child? Right? That's sensical. It's not happening, right? And it says, "Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail?" So, oh man, that's what it's talking about, man. You kind of in pain, man. Like, what is happening, man? And all faces are turned into paleness, man. You are shocked, man. You don't know what's next. America is destroyed, man. Right? Verse 7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it," man. Right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I got verse 7, but verse 6 was more so going into the iteration of what I needed, man. I didn't need verse 7 at all. Right, verse 7 is going to hold weight, because technically speaking, I believe we under Jacob's trouble right now, especially those outside of America, man. Jacob going through heavy trouble in America, but outside of America, man, it's terrible, man. Right? Because you even looking here in the deportation of the Hispanics, man. The deportation of the Hispanics, man. Where they taking them? It's more specifically in Salvador, man. In El Salvador, they taking them to prison, man. Right? Or that might be Guatemala, man. Right? They deporting these people into prison. Right? My people shall be robbed and spoiled and hidden in prison houses, man. This is what's happening, right? And then that's why they saying they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation, because we coming out of them places, man. High security prisons, man, that nobody ever broke out of. We going to be brought out of them places, man. So high that they would not expect it, man. So let's get Luke 21 and 26. It says, "Men's hearts failing them for fear, and looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken." Man. Yeah, so basically men's hearts failing for them, man. Them for fear. They in fear, man. They don't know what's going on, man. I wanted to know what the rest of that was used for, but that's actually talk about the end times, man. When the time has come, man, and these men don't know what to do, man. Oh my goodness, did you hear New York just got blown up? Oh my goodness, are we next? These people gonna know if America get destroyed, man. That if you get reports of one city getting hit with a nuke, you're gonna be getting reports of multiple cities getting hit with nukes within the hour, and then America not being inhabited no more, man. Remember that I said that America's not gonna be inhabited no more, because that gonna go into this verse too about how it ain't just about Babylon, man. Right? So yeah, man, that was Luke 21:26, right? Let's go back to Joel. I could probably keep Joel open at this point. Joel be talking about the destruction of this place too, man. So this is Joel chapter 2 verse 6. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness, man. So that's just basically saying, man, y'all gonna be dead, man. Y'all gonna be looking dead, man. Y'all gonna be pained and sorrowed, and y'all gonna be looking like, damn, man, you look dead, man. You alright? And then if somebody could ask you if you're alright in that time, you're gonna be reporting to them, and then they gonna face gonna change too, man. But I don't think that's gonna be the case in that day, man. Right? Isaiah 13. Was that the last verse? No, it wasn't. Right? It was not. This Nahum chapter 2 verse 10. It reads, "She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melted, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all loins, all the faces of men gather blackness." Man, I want to actually get that in another translation. Right? Let's get Nahum. Let's get Nahum. Let's go to chapter 2, and let's go to verse 10. Right? Just to get another translation. I'm probably gonna go with the G&T Good News translation. It says, "Nineveh is destroyed, deserted, desolate. Hearts melt with fear, knees tremble, strength is gone, faces grow pale." So they don't say that they're gonna turn black. They're gonna be pale, man. They're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, what is this?" Right? Let's get this one right. Isaiah 19 verse 1, it says the burden of Egypt. We see this burden reiterated, man. This is actually talking about the same place, man. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. The heart of Egypt misting in the midst of it, man. That's what we're seeing, man. These people, they have no faith in the government no more. They have no trust in the system, man. Right? This is, and then when time comes for the destruction, it's definitely not going to be any faith, man, because they probably going to be the first ones destroyed, man. I got Isaiah 19:1, right, and then basically to reiterate, what heart is melting means is that it's no more pride, man. The arrogancy of the pride shall cease, man. That's pretty much what it's going into, man. Let's see if that's in here, right? And I shall cause the arrogancy of the prize to cease. I think it's actually in here, but if it's not, oh well, here it is. Verse 11. So we really don't have to go jump ahead for this, man. It's there, right? So we're going to go into verse 9. It says, "Behold," Isaiah 13:9, "Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and with fierce and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it." Right? So we have to go into this, right? The sinners. Who's that talking about? Let's just get the precepts that I've already gotten out of verse 9. Right? Okay, I actually didn't get any. Right? That surprised me, because I'm thinking of something off the top of my head. But maybe I was thinking of some off the top of my head, and I was going to cross them off, so I didn't write them down, because I already had them down, and same spirit I'm in right now that I wrote this with. So this is Amos chapter 3 verse 2. It says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquity." Right? Like Revelation 18:4, "Come out of her, my people." This is the same thing that you received out of her place. This is the same thing. The Lord going to punish us if we don't come out of the sinful ways, man. We the sinners, man. Right? Right? Verse Peter chapter 4 verse 17 reads, "For the time for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God," right? And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of them be? Them that obey not the gospel of God, right? So the judgment happens first in Israel, man. Right? The children of God have to go through the judgment first, and then even when we see like how America is falling, right? We looking like the star powers, like Diddy, man, or Young Thug, or Lil Baby. Like Diddy was probably the top of the music industry with executive positioning wise, right? He's a top exec in the music industry for blacks. Judgment started with him, man. It's gonna eventually. It might not even trickle down to no more other celebrities, but it's starting at the house of God, man. Because the Lord is just going to judge this place all together, man. So I got First Peter 4. Let's get going back there. Zephaniah 1 and 12. It says, "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees." I want to get that. Gotta get that. Let me get that. Let's get that. Right, lees or Zephaniah. Right, Zephaniah 1 and 10. I gotta get that lees. Oh no, it ain't 10. It's 12. I just want that leads to see what it is in the Hebrew, right? And then actually get a better understanding of what it is. That's Shamar, which is dregs, wine. So basically, hold on, let's get back to this, right? It says, and punish the men that are settled on their lees or drunken in wine, man. And that's perfect, man. That's perfect because it says the day of the Lord, or what Christ says is going to be like the days of Noah. They are going to be drunken, merry, and basically having a good time, man. But this is talking about us, right? We going to be the ones that's got to get punished, man. The children of Israel. You got to get done with, man. And it says that saying in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will He do evil. People thinking that the Lord's judgment is wicked, man, and then that's actually good. So they saying that the Lord ain't gonna do nothing, man, to America, right? They even come and say that America is the Lord's chosen land, man, right? And then they think that the Lord is good, God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. This is what the scripture is talking about, man. They saying He won't do no evil, man, because He only good. The Bible say that the Lord is good and evil, man. The Lord do all these things, man. So we gotta see what the scriptures say, man. The Lord, He gonna punish the people that saying stuff, man, right? Well, to him that call good evil and evil good, right? Destruction, man. I didn't write that down. I'm not gonna get into it because it's not written down, man. But it's easy to be understood. I already went into this, if I'm not mistaken, man. Amos 9 verse 10. I'm just going to get it again, even if I did. And it says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So our people got to die, man. Our people got to die for their wrongdoings, man. If you going to be in sin, you got to face the judgment of the Lord, man. It does say in the scripture that all Israel shall be saved, but no. Certain Israelites have to die for their wrongdoings, man. Just what the scripture says, man. You can't get around it. People don't like to accept it, but let's get here, man. Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, this ain't talking about just America, all the land. 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, and the third part shall be left therein. That's talking about Israel. Right, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my God. Right. So we see that the people have to die on this side, man. right? Two thirds getting cut off and dying, man. No. Going back to Isaiah 13, we're going to go to verse 10. This is a beautiful verse. This is actually a great breaking point if I wanted to, but I'm already an hour in, and I'm feeling like I got to finish this, man. These next couple points might take me a little bit long to get through, but it is what it is, right? So this is Isaiah 13, verse 10. It says, "For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened and is going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine." Right? What does this sound like, right? What does this sound like? Revelation 12 and 4, man. Right? Let's actually get that before we go into what it is. Because I want to touch base on this first. Right? Revelation 2 was born. Stars of heaven. Right? We seeing it's the same type of iterants here, man. Right? It's almost reiterating the same thing, right? Was there another one that I had, right? No. There's more precepts that I have, but I wanted to get the specific. So, we're going to see here that the stars falling from the sky is not talking about actual stars falling from the skies, man. The stars is talking about the celebrities and the influencers and basically the Israelites, the famous Israelites, man, right? The influencers could go into deeper than just social media influencers, but like the higher up influencers, like right? If you couldn't catch that, oh well, you wish. I'm not trying to get cut. You know what I mean? We gotta be code words and talk quietly so that we don't get banned on YouTube and stuff, man. But we seeing it, man. That's the stars, man, falling from heaven, man. Diddy, like I mentioned before, man, falling from heaven. He's losing his estate, man. That's the stars falling from heaven. The stars and the constellations shall not give their light. Meaning, you can't make you can't really make no real music in jail, man. You can't do no AR or representative work in jail, man. You can't get new clients for your label, man, in jail, man. Right, this is what's happening, man. They losing the constellations, right? They losing the workings, the what did I say? The associations, man. Right, the conglomerate efforts that they have in order to keep our people down, man. That's falling, man. You can't keep us down. I think the true effort, the true sign of the stars starting to fall from heaven was with COVID, man. When COVID came around, that's when the stars started to fall, man. Because then they lost their power, man. That's when everything in the world started to change, man. It was a global, spiritual, economic, everything, a shift, man. The whole world shifted, man. And this is going into the beginning of the end, man. The stars is falling out of heaven, and the constellations thereof, man. Right? They not giving their light, man. You're not able to put out new music from behind jail unless you're somebody who got somebody you calling, man. And the quality is gonna hurt a little bit, man. But look at look at the people that's in prison, man. They really can't do nothing too much, man. You can't drop a full album. Tory Lanez dropped an album in prison, man. Right? Probably one of the best albums of the year, man. But the man is having a hard time because wicked ass Jay-Z, man, trying to stop him from dropping, man. Took all the recording equipment out of jail, out of his prison and everything. Now he's straight off the phone, recording on the mic, like with the phone, like this, man, like this. Here, I'm gonna picture the camera as the mic, man. He got his speaker to the mic, man. I know this how to work, man, cause I had to do it a couple times, man. Right. So we see the stars falling from heaven, man. The government, the sun, right? The sun. What did it say? The sun shall be darkened and is going forth. The sun is talking about a governmental collapse. Donald J. Trump is the figurehead for this, man. Because why do you have people like Elon Musk running the government or the Department of Government Expensive or Efficiency, whatever it is, man, right? He's running that, and he's from South Africa. Now he's doing all types of cuts to education and so on and so forth, right? That's stupidity, man, right? And that actually goes into the moon, right? But we're not gonna get there just yet, right? So it's a governmental collapse, a loss of order, man, right? Or no righteous leadership. It was never really righteous leadership in America, man. But it's not righteous leadership, right? So we see in this setup, man, right? They literally losing all their ties. America have to be the haven of ships, man, right? The place where all the countries come to trade, man. Donald Trump is getting rid of that, leading to the downfall of America, man. Alas, alas, the great city has ceased, man. We see through the tensions, man. This is what's happening nowadays, man. Right? And then the moon not shall not cause her light to shine, man. That's talking about the economy, man. Right? Actually, on a further instance, man, that's actually talking about institutions and cultural structures, man. Schools, man. Churches, man. Right? This is this is the things that keep the people going, man. Right? Churches regulating the people, and churches teaching them things to not be done. Right? These things are failing. Right? Why do we have major cuts to churches now, man? That's a reason why, man. Because the moon is darkening, man. Right? And then we see. Slovakia. You see a lot of these church leaders, more specifically, let's say Kurt Franklin, what's the other one? T.D. Jakes, Marvin Sapp. You see a lot of scandals coming out with these people, right? Moon shall not cause her light to shine. Easily like that, man. It's easy to be understood when you get down to it, man. Let's get in some precepts now, man. So we explain what it is. Now we're gonna get into the precepts to back it up, right? So this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 3, and it reads, "And they that be wise shall shine as brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever." See, who's turning them to righteousness? The stars, right? The Israelites are technically the stars of heaven, man. The famous men, though. That they've fallen from heaven, man. And it's not just the Israelites. It's about the other people too, man. In this instance, it's talking about people. It's not talking about stars, man. Right? That's why we got Daniel 12, right? And now we're gonna get Isaiah 9, right? Right, Isaiah 9, 14. Right, we got Isaiah 9 and 14. I got some squares around here. That's okay at the bottom of this page, right? I'm almost there, right? So this is Isaiah 9, verse 14. It says, therefore, Yahweh will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rush, and one day the ancient and honorable, he is the head, and a prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail. It says the Most High going to destroy us off, man. Cut us off. We fallen from heaven, man. This instance is going to go into the more so the moon, or not the sun, not the moon. The sun, the stars losing falling from the sky, man. And the way that it was broken down on what the tool that I used, man, was that the Israelites was the stars falling from sky, man. Because even in the Bible, we see that the Israelites shall be as the sand of the sea and the stars of heaven, man. An innumerable multitude, and that's why it's hinting towards that, man. But this is about all nations, man. So that was going into the stars, right? Joel 2. I'm trying to maintain myself here, man. Okay, Joel 2, verse 31. It says, "The sun shall be turned into darkness and the blood into moon before the great and terrible day of Yahweh." So it says this has to happen before the destruction. So we see it as building up to the destruction of this place, man. The great and terrible day of the Lord is nigh, it's close, it's at hand, right? We gotta understand that with that being thus or so, right? That the stars of heaven gotta fall, man. All these wicked nations, man, they actually seeing that too, man. All these other nations, they seeing that the Israelites is falling, man. And they also seeing that the higher ups is falling too, man. I thought it was really gonna hit the fan though when Jeffrey Epstein Island, man. When that thing came out, man, I thought that was it. I thought the stars fell. But the wicked system we have set up, man, nobody fell except for one person, man, which was Epstein, man, which is crazy. But that's rather here nor there. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 11. The sun and the moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering sphere, man. Shalaki, I want to make sure, what else is it? Yeah, it was just 3 and 11, man. So it's talking about not just the sun and moon in their habitation, but people, man. In the light of thine arrows they went, right? And at the shining of thy glittering spear. So they gonna go when bombs start to drop, man. So like, let's get this last one out of this. Right, Lamentation 4:7. It reads, her Nazarites were whiter than coal. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the street. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It withereth. It becomes a stick. So basically, this is saying they're not utilizing the law, statutes, commandments of faith, man, and they fading away pretty much, man. They don't. They not teaching the streets, man. That ain't a color scripture, man, at all. It's not. Some people will say it is, but it's not, man. So, yeah, man, that the moon, the sun, the stars, it goes into pretty much celebs and the stars, man. Right? Stars, that's why they call them stars. You feel what I'm saying? Then the sun is governmental, authoritative figures pretty much. And you see in that it's collapsing. The sun shall be darkened, and it's going forth, right? Nobody take these people serious, man, right? And then the moon shall not cause her light to shine, man. These churches, man. I don't know if it was like the Potter's house or something that people keep on talking about, and how the pastor was gay or whatever, man. But why would you even be in a church with a gay pastor to begin with? It's not causing the light to shine, man. Verse 11, man, it says, "And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." Now, verse 11 and 9 go hand in hand, right? Because 9 is talking about Israel, but 11 is talking about the rest of the world, man. The Lord says that He's going to punish the world. It's a whole world judgment, man. Right? We could mention Amos 9 and 10 again, man, because we just got it, man. Right? We literally just got it, but we could see that in there, man. That's the same iteration, man. Right? I could even mention Revelation 18 and 4, man. Come out of her, my people, that you be not, that you receive not of her plagues, man. Right? We see it, right? We don't want our people to die from this, man. Right? He's gonna cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, man. Right? We can't just expect that the Lord ain't gonna do nothing, man. Right? So I taught that out. Let me get this. Come on. Why ain't it doing that? Obadiah 1 and 3, right? The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest amongst the stars of heaven, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh, man. The Most High gonna bring them down, man. Be proud, man. He gonna cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, man. Okay, my sinuses is clearing up a little bit. This is Isaiah chapter 2. So like, yeah, 2 verse 11. It says, let me mark where I'm at. Right, Isaiah 2 verse 11. It says, "The lofty looks of man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day." Right. This is more so proving the point that Israel not going to be able to get into the fight. Right, but that also that the Most High, why Yahweh Shai, right, the Most High and His host is going to do His judgment in that day, man. That's why it says Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day, right? For the day of Yahweh, For the day of Yahweh Tazabawa, right, shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted, he shall be brought low. The Most High is going up against all proud people, man. Right? The pride goeth before destruction, man. Right? Is that? Man, that's nine. Let's keep on going, right? Ezekiel 9:6, right? It says, "Then said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city of perverseness, for they say, Yahweh hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord she have not." That's not what I wanted. Right? Ezekiel 9:6. I wanted 6. I think I got 9. Right? Ezekiel 9:6. Salakia. Okay. So it says, "Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary." Then they began as the ancient men which were before the house. So everybody gonna be judged of the Lord, man. Jeez Louise. Malachi. So this is Malachi chapter 4. And it says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubbled, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh Tazabawa," right? "That it shall leave them neither root nor branch." The Most High is not going to leave anybody remaining, man. And it's talking about Babylon, man. But the Lord going and doing justice in the other nations too, man. We're going to get down with that eventually in this chapter, man. Because the Lord ain't dealing with the proudness, man. And that's why after he destroys this place, a lot of these people, their heart's going to melt, right? That's the iteration is that their heart's going to melt because they ain't going according to the Lord, or they proud, man. Right? Isaiah 26:21, it says, "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain," man. So the Lord says that he going to come against the people of the earth, man. Right? And he going to destroy them. So now let's go back to Isaiah 13, verse 12, right? It says, it says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." Right? So this is the Lord talking about how he causes a man's face to shine, so on and so forth, and how the scriptures go into this type of stuff, man. So let's get into it, right? So this Ecclesiastes, oh my goodness. 8 verse 1. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed, man. So when you are wise, man, you operate according to the scripture, man, right? Or when you keep the law, statutes, commandments, and you get that wisdom, man, you become more precious than fire and gold, man. And that's why it says you go have become more precious than fire and gold, because you're gonna be illuminated with your wisdom, man. Right? The Lord gonna illuminate you with his magnificence, man. Right? Continuing on, Salaki, man. I'm not trying to be blowing my nose in this whole video, man, but part of the curses, man. Part of the curses that we gotta deal with. Let's go back. So this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. I know I had it. So this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. Hold on. Verse, I'm going to read it all. Yup, 1 to 7. Right, so it says, "But the souls of the righteous are in the hands of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken from misery." So this is basically saying when America is destroyed, these people are going to think we're going to die with it, man. And they're going from us to to be utter destruction, reiterating it, but they are in peace because we're going to be children with the Most High, right? For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, right? 1 Corinthians 15:50, right? And it says, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for God proved them and found them worthy of himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering, and in the time of their presentation they shall shine and run to and from like sparks among the stubble. Let's talk about the Lord making us into brightly apparent men, man. Right? We're gonna be shining like sparks, man. That's what it's going into, man. Let's get another one. Right, Daniel 12, verse 3, and it says, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever, right? So this is basically even reiterating that we gonna take that replacement role of replacing the stars in heaven now, man. Which ain't talking about literal stars, it's talking about the higher ups in the world, man. We're gonna replace them. We're gonna take over what they doing, man, and then lead the world, influence the world in righteousness, man. That's Daniel 12. Let's go here. Right, we're gonna go for second address. Where was I? Second address 1673. Is this 16? No, it's not. So this is second address 16, verse 73. I thought it went to it, but it says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire, man. So you're gonna see who the Lord chosen is in that day, man. Right? Let's even go here. He's just drilling in a point that the ones whose face is gonna be caused to shine, man, or like a golden offer, man. Right? These is talking about the Lord's children, man. Not talking about all nations. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, or Malachi chapter 3, verse 17. It says that they shall be mine, and they shall be mine, saith Yahweh Tazabawath, and that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. When you serve him, the Lord will spare you, man. Simple. Right? Verse 12. I just want to get this here because I keep on going down. Right? Second address again. 2. That's a beautiful precept, too. Bear with me. Second address 2, verse 44. And I'm going down to 47. So it says, so I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh, and now are they crowned and receive palms, right? And it says, Then I said unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, Yahweh Shai, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, Yahweh Shai, whom they have confessed in the world. So we got to confess his name amongst the Gentiles, man, right? And then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh, right? So it says that here, man. When you serving the Lord, man, the Lord going to cause you to be great, man. Serve the Lord, right? It ain't nothing wrong with that, man, right? People might think it's wrong, but you can't do nothing to change their ideas of what serving the Lord is, man. They think we just hate other nations and we ain't got no good going, but it is what it is. So this is Job chapter 28, verse 12. It says, But where shall wisdom be found, and where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. The depth saith, It is not in me, and the sea saith, It is not with me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx, or of sapphire. The gold and crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be for jewels or fine gold. So it's saying basically that You are better than gold, pretty much. A man shall be made more precious than fine gold. This is what it's saying, man. With wisdom, though, right? And then it's found in man. You can't just see wisdom out on the block and say, "What's up, wisdom? How you doing today? Let me get some good knowledge." No, you gotta acquire it of somebody, man. Right? Um, let's go here. We are almost done with this verse. We almost done with this verse, right? Well, I got an hour, 20 minutes, and I was at an hour when I was at verse 10. I just made a 20-minute mark on 3 verses. So that might actually not that bad. So let's continue on, man. So this is Isaiah 33, verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure." What do we need to explain with that? Right? Wisdom and knowledge is your stability. That's how you get spared from judgment, man. And the strength of his salvation. This is how you get saved, man. The fear of the Yahweh is his treasure. A man shall be made more precious than fine gold. It's explanatory for itself, man. You go to the scriptures, you see what it say, and then you understand, man. Now this is Isaiah 13, verse 13. It says, "Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of Yahweh Tazabawa, and end the day of his fierce anger," man. Yeah, we gotta get these precepts, man. I have not got this one yet, man. So this is actually the most imperative part of this whole chapter, man. Right, Second Peter chapter 3, verse 10, it says, "But the day of Yahweh shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. See, and then all these things shall be dissolved. What manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeketh that ye look for such things. Be diligent that ye may be found upon the peace without spot and blemish." Right? So we see in this, right? The day of the Lord come with fire, man. It's going to be the heavens shall be shaken. That's the same difference, man. Right? And then it's telling you how we got to be so that we don't suffer this such judgment, man. Right? This is what it's saying, man. Right? I didn't mean to blow through that, man, but I've gotten that precept so many times that I didn't feel the need to reiterate what I've said plenty of times before. This is Haggai chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "For thus saith Yahweh Tazabawa, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land." So it says it's only for a little bit, though. 1 hour. "And I will shake all nations, the desires of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith Yahweh Tazabawa." Right? Boom. So we see it here that the Most High, man, he gonna shake all nations, though. He ain't just gonna shake Babylon. He's shaking all nations, right? Because after he's done doing it in Babylon, he's gonna go to the other nations afterwards, man. Haggai 2, right? That's not what I just got. Haggai 2, right? We got a lot more to go, right? We ain't short stepping with these. Hebrews 12, verse 26. Hebrews 12 and 26 reads, it says, "For whose voice then shook the earth? But now he had promised, saying, Yet once more I shake not the earth only, but also heaven. And this word, yet once more, signifying the removing of those things that are shaking, as of things that are made, those things which cannot be shaken may remain." So the Most High said, "Look, I gotta remove everything I'm shaking in the earth, so that I can place my righteous on the earth again." He gonna remove us, and then he gonna shake the earth, and then bring us back, man. That's exactly what that's saying right there, right? Hebrews 12, and now we get in Revelation 16. Revelation 16, great chapter, man. Let's talk about the, I think it's talking, the 6 8, the trumpets, man. No, it ain't. I'm wrong. Definitely wrong. Don't quote me on that. It's not talking about the trumpets. marks. Chapter 9 is talking about the trumpets. 8 and 9 is talking about the trumpets. Uh, I'm not sure off the top of my head what they're talking about. So 16, 18, right? It says, this is Revelation 16, 18. It says, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High to give unto her the cup of wine of the fierceness of his wrath. So the Most High says that he's going to shake the earth and give it a great earthquake. Man. And then Babylon going to be called to judgment, man. Right? Revelation 16, man. Right? Let's go into this. Y'all in Isaiah around. What I got? Isaiah. So I got so many marks on this page that is actually getting a little bit unbearable. Here, start putting different marks on the page. Where was I just at? Revelation 16. So I can, while I bear with me while I get this right. I'm gonna get it together. Just try to get my footing, man. So this Isaiah 24:19. It says, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is cleanly dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly. So this is talking about swift judgment, man. Right? It says the earth shall reel to and fro like a junker. It's basically moving, man. It shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. The Lord says when he does this, it's not going to be able to rise back up, man. Thus saith the Holy Bible, man. Joel 2, I said we was getting back into this, man. But this time we get a little bit more out of Joel 2, so I gotta get it this time. So it says, blow ye the trumpet at Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. I lost my pen, I'm trying to gain it back, right? And it says, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, and for it is nigh at hand, it's close, right? And it says, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. And as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, right? There have not been ever like the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So the Lord says, look, after this judgment, I ain't doing this again, man. Right? Yeah, it's gonna be a fight, right? I was under the assumption that in the kingdom, right, it ain't no more like fighting, right? But in the kingdom, God is gonna come up against us, man, and try to take out the saints, man, right? And the Lord gonna do it God like he did with Babylon, but he gonna use the children of Israel for that, right? So this is gonna be like not until any other day, man, because thermal nukes from all nations gonna be coming to this place, right? Maybe I need to dust this room, man. I got in here, man, and my allergies just went through the roof, man. I was outside before I came in the house, man. I was outside before I went out to work, man. And my allergies wasn't like this, man. Say you're trying to get me distracted now, we're not gonna get it, bro. Was that Joel 2? So now we're gonna continue on, right? I think I already got this already, but we're gonna get it again, even if we did, right? So it says, the great day of the Lord is near; it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. I got 14 already. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and destruction, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet, an alarm against the cities and against the high towers, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. And the Lord going to destroy everything, man. Right? It does say this, they sinned, man. But that ain't just talking about Israel right there, man. That's talking about everywhere, man. The Lord is going to do in all nations dirty, man. But first, leading in Babylon, man. Starting in Babylon, man. Right? I think that was all I was talking about. And that just ain't Babylon at all, man. That ain't ancient Babylon at all. It can't fit Babylon, right? This verse 13, not talking about Babylon at all. That's strictly talk about ancient or Babylon now, man. Can't be talking about Babylon of the fast. Because when the Lord destroyed Babylon, or when the Lord took over Babylon, how did they fall, man? Another king rose into power, man. Right? When Babylon goes into, well, when Babylon goes down, man, it's not going to be the case, man. Nah. Right? So we're going to verse 14. Right? So it says, verse 14 and verse 7 and 8 do go hand in hand. Because it's talking about pain, right? It's talking about fleeing. It's talking about a certain situation, man, right? Let's talk about judgment, man, right? So verse 14 it says, "And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man return to his own people, and flee everyone into his own house." I thought it said then here, but it's rather here nor there, man, because we see it. It shall be as a chased roe. That chased roe is talking about a fleeing animal, man. Somebody trying to escape from being eaten, man. Right? Or escape from judgment, man. Right? Chased roe by a lion. That's what it's going into, man. Right? I can actually get that here. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 50, verse 16. It says, "Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle, and in the time of harvest, for fear of the oppressive sword, that they shall turn everyone to his people, and shall flee everyone into his own land." So, people going to try and start fleeing out of Babylon when they hear destruction coming. It may even be rumors going around like, look, we heard Babylon or America going to be destroyed in a couple hours, man. Try and get a flight. Try and get out of there. Do whatever you gotta do. Get on the next flight out of there. Every man gonna flee to his own people. That's what it's saying, man. That's what it's talking about, man. When we see, yo, man, you better get up out of there, man. I'm about to go do something. You know what I mean? People do that all the time, man. Talk like that all the time, man. Right? So we see it. It's gotta be about other nations, man. Not just about America, because they fleeing into other nations, man. Right? This is still about America at the end of it, because they fleeing out of America, right? I ain't actually getting Jeremiah. I'm getting Revelation. Where am I getting? I just have verse 14, 16 again, right? Revelation 16:15, and I'm going down. I think I might even have got most of it, but this is Revelation 16 verse 15. "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together in one place in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon, called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, right, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done." The Most High gonna do this, man. He gonna send a thief. He gonna come as a thief, destroy this, right? Then he gonna gather them together in Armageddon, and then it's gonna happen, man. Where they all gotta get taken care of in Armageddon, man. That's in the Holy Bible, man. So let's go back into this really quick, man. So it says, Isaiah 13:14, it says, "And there shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, and then shall every man turn to his own people," right? So what I have is basically going into culturalism, man, right? And we could see that in today's racial tensions, man, right? How everybody is so, like with the whole Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf situation, man. They say that this is a racially motivated, man. Ain't nothing racially motivated about that, man, right? But they want to keep on making it seem that way, right? Why? Because it's just the way it is, man. Culturalism, man. And then they try to say that's black culture, right? It's not, man. Because they like to say we like shooting each other. We don't. We typically stabbing each other up, man. So what did they gonna get out of that, man? What are they trying to say, man? Right? They don't know what the hell they talking about, man. Right? So people, and the sheep basically was going into helplessness, man. Chase row, right? That's going into that pains and sorrows of running and fleeing, man. Sheep is going into helplessness, man. Right? Uh, yeah, did I get Zechariah already? Revelation 16. I don't know. Well, I actually don't want that Zechariah. I do want this though. The thing I actually thought about what it said, man, because Zechariah 13:7 basically talk about a sheep return to the shepherd, man, or a shepherd return to the sheep, right? If I'm not mistaken, roughly paraphrasing, don't quote me on that, right? This is Matthew chapter 9, verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Actually, I gotta get that right. So yeah, we the sheep. Hold on, wait. Let's go into this Isaiah 13 again, right? So it says, "And it shall be as a chafed throw, and a sheep that no man taketh up." So basically, we got a sheep that no man taketh up, man. Like that's going into nobody is protecting the sheep from the wolves, man. Right? They defenseless, right? Like I said already, man, helpless. And then the people obviously is going into culturalism. I've already stated that, right? And I think I got Jeremiah 50:28 to back that up. I skipped over a whole verse, right? And then obviously Revelation 18:4, come out of her my people that you receive not of our plagues, basically going into keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But these other nations, they gonna go into keeping their own ways, man. Right? Not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, but their own ways, man. Still serving their false gods, man. And then flee to his own land is talking about the heathen departing from America and the beginning of the collapse of America. Now I'm going to go into verse Isaiah 13, verse 15. It says, "Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall be found fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." So these two verses, not about Babylon. Because if we see that the women and children is getting the women is getting spoiled and ravished and all that, man, right? And the house is spoiled and everything. How could this be about America, right? What we have to admit is this has to be on a global scale. This actually not even about the children of Israel. When we look at the guise of Isaiah 13, man, this not about the children of Israel. Because it says the Lord is doing this alone, man. Right? The other nations is weapon of indignation, man. The Lord is using the other nations to have their wives ravished, man. A lot of times Israel will bring this out, man, and say that this is a future prophecy, man. This is a future prophecy, just not about the children of Israel, man. Children of Israel at this time is going to be chilling with, well, not chilling with Yahushua, but safely abiding with the Lord, man. The other nations going to be at war. We not fighting this war, man. This is Yahushua doing in Babylon what he needs to do, man. The angel of death, man. Right? So we can't just go off of this and say that this is about Israel, man. Cutting that up. If we go off the inflections of Isaiah 13, this is not about Israel, man. And the Bible, when people say that the Bible condones ravishing or whatever, that's the other nations, man. The other nations is the ones that's doing the ravishing, man. Right? And to this day, man. Still. Right? That's why when you got friends in the army and stuff like that, they report to you the stuff that's supposed to be kept secret in the army, man. That's black, man. Because they like, man, these people wicked as hell. They was doing this, that, and the third, huh? Right? Ravishing the women and children. Right? That's what it's talking about, man. So, 15 and 16 go hand in hand, man. It's not about the righteous Israelites, man. It's not about Israel, the righteous Israelites at all, man. This may be about the other wicked Israelites that don't get destroyed of the fire, man. But it says everyone that is found. How you finding somebody in America if it's destroyed? You don't find nobody in America. It's uninhabitable, right? Their eyes shall burn in the holes, man. This is what we see. So it can't be about America. This is about the other nations, man. Those that are left, right? And it ain't talking about in America, right? Of the other nations, right? Global chaos. Like it's written in Ezekiel, in 2nd Ezra 16, 15, whatever the case is, 15 and 16, I should say. It's there, man. right? So let's get these precepts. Revelation 9 again. I should have just kept a chapter. A lot of these books I'm going to. I'm going back to the same books like Joel, Zechariah, Isaiah. Not Hebrews as much, but like Jeremiah, man. Right? I probably got Joel, Jeremiah, um, Zechariah got been brought out a couple times, man. Right? Revelation, like a bunch of times, man. It's crazy. Like you could see the judgment in these books, man. This is Revelation chapter 9 verse 15. It says, "And the four angels were loosed." This is going into the sixth trumpet, man. And it says, and the Salaki, and the four angels were loosed, which prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. It's talking about the rest of the world, not about America, man. Third part of men is talking about the whole world, right? Not the Israelites either, not the 2/3 or the 1/3, right? This is talking about other nations, man, right? And it says, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them." And Salaki, I want to make sure I'm getting it all right. Revelation 18 all the way down. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of horses were as the head of lions, right? And out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone, right? By these three was the third part of men killed by fire and by smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths, man. Talk about the angels. Some people might say that this talk about Israel, but we see through the heads of lions that typically that's going to go into the angels, man. In Ezekiel, right? How the angels was prophesied, having four heads, one of the face of a lion, one of the face of an eagle, one of the face of a bear, and one. And I don't know what the fourth one was, man, but not in this instance, man. It's just saying that, but through the spirit, we can see that this has got to be dealing with the angels, man. I will get into that a little bit more because I'm going to probably do down the line the six trumpets, man. These lessons actually be coming out a little bit slower than I would hope, only because it's intense studying that comes with these deeper prophecies, man. So me doing 2 videos in a week is actually me doing 7 hours of research, 2 nights on the weekend, uh, up until 2 a.m. just trying to find the matter of these things, man. So you gotta bear with me if I'm not putting out as much content as I would like, but I'm still getting the word out there, right? So third part of men. So verse 18 it says, "By these three was the third part of men killed by fire and by smoke and by brimstone, which issued out of their mouths," man. Right. So yeah, this is going into America, but it's also talking about how they gonna die by the sword too, right? Even though it's talking about the fire and the sword and brimstone, man, right? It's going into the third part of men outside of America being done away with, right? And there's gonna be a lot of fire too that's casted upon the earth, man. It's gonna be a lot of nuclear warfare, because after America is going to be destroyed, a lot of other nations is going to be going to nukes, man, right? A lot of other nations is going to be going to tactical warfare outside of guns, man. Right? It's gonna be something worse, right? America's just gonna get it the worst out of all, right? Yeah. So actually, let me get this next preset. What was it? This? What the heck? So actually, I wanted to get this first, but I have a square around it that I should have got it first, and I'm looking at it now. I'm like, I should have got it first. I'm about to get it because I forgot to get it first, but I might just circle back. I didn't get this one yet, so I'm gonna circle back to that. I think I just got that right. Isaiah 24:1. So I'm gonna get this next. So this is next. This is what I didn't get yet. Okay, so Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 46. right? And it reads, "And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and thou and art the glory of her person." They still have that mindset of Babylon, the hope of Babylon, right? And it says, "Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughter with in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee." So the kings of the earth have rights and rights to the fornication of her delicacies, man. We see that, and then I'm not gonna get Revelation 18:4 because I've already got that about twice. But we need to go and to come out of her, my people, that you be not receive or plagues, man. Asia is perceiving that plague, man. They partaking in Babylon, man. That's what this is going into, man. Right? And that's why I wanted to get that verse because it shows exactly what I wanted to reiterate. So this Isaiah 24 verse 1, it says, "Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty and maketh waste and turn it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof." Right, so everybody fleeing, right? And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, as with his master, as with his maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh hath spoken this word. The earth so like the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languages that faded away, the haughty people of the earth do languish, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant, right? Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate, therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So the Lord is going to cause this place to be brought down, man. So we go to Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 verse 6, it says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul, and be not cut off in her iniquity, for the time of for is for Salakia. For this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense," right? The Lord come in to judge this place. Now verse 45 in the same chapter, it says, "My people, go ye out of the midst of her and deliver every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yahweh." So this ain't talking about, well, this here probably was talking about the actual accident of Babylon. But in America, this talking about leaving the ideology of America. And that's why we see in verse 13, or chapter 13, verse 15 to 16, it's talking about outside of America, man. The people outside of America are going to be found, thrust through, and killed by the sword. Because it's the Babylonian mindset. We got to free ourselves from this Babylonian mindset that we receive not of our plagues, man. The other nations going to receive of her plagues, man. Right? Revelation 18:4, obviously, I already said that. We not going to get that. But we're going to get Zechariah 2. Right, Zechariah 2, 6. So it says, Zechariah 2, verse 6, "Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahweh, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the earth, saith Yahweh. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon." So this is saying, they dwelleth abroad. We spread abroad to the four winds of heaven. Right? So how are we going to deliver ourselves from the dwelling in with the daughter of Babylon? That's not talking about just being in America. That's talking about being under the American mindset. Come out of her mindset, man. Be reformed by the renewing of your mind, man. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, man. Got that one already. Now we're going into this again. Revelation 17. Again. Right? The Revelation 17, verse 2. "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication." That's talking about they have partaken in the ways of Babylon, man. And it says, "And the inhabitants of earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." You drunk off the doctrine of America, or the mindset of America, the American dream, man. Right? Which started with slaves. Slaves, and having slaves, owning slaves, man. Having your 40 acres or 100 acres or whatever, your plantation, man. And you being rich and wealthy, man. That's where it started, man. And even to the core today, man, it's still kind of the sense, man, of the matter, man. Because when you get down to it, man, a lot of people want to own a business, having plenty of employees, man, and be successful, man. Employees is just all slaves, man. It ain't no difference, man. That's just a word that they use. You are an employee, right? You're a servant. You ain't no employee. You are employed because you get paid, but you're a servant to the company, man, because they make more money off of you than you make off of them, right? Where am I at? Second Esdras 13, right? And 37. So it reads, and this, my son shall rebuke the wicked of those inventions of those nations, right? And it says, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, right? And shall lay before their evil thoughts, and and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. He shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. So the Lord said that He gonna destroy these other nations too, man, because they are, what is it? They are seduced, right, by the wicked imaginations or the inventions of America, man. They are seduced with it, man. What is this? I don't even have any idea what this is, man. Right? They seduced with the ways of this world, man. Right? I don't be on my computer all like that. I was on my computer doing this lesson. That was the last time I was on it, though, man. So hey, man, it is what it is, man. These other nations, they die just like America, man. They face the same judgment, man. But not the same. Because they ain't burning up, but they face judgment, man. Right? That's a lot of the... Why would I do that anyway? What was I just getting? I thought I was getting Joel. Slovakia, these other nations, they partake in it, though, man. Right? Joel 3 and 9. So it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, let the heathen be awakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, come get you down, right? As for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great, the multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkness, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. So it's basically going into what the whole lesson is about, man. Right? But this is where it's gonna happen. In the valley of Jehoshaphat, they're gonna come together and battle, man, and fight each other, man. The heathen, man. Right? Right? This Isaiah 34, verse 1, it says, come near, you nations, to hear, and hearken, you people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it, right? For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, right? His fear upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come out their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and all the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all the hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. So the Lord is going to do in the nations just as he did in Babylon. It's just going to be more so precise and clean cut, man. He's going to be cutting through these nations, man. Very few men left, right? Like it say in Isaiah 66 and 15, man. Yeah, man. Not too many people going to be able to abide in the day of the Lord, man. It's going to be darkness, man. Very, very, very dangerous, man. Very, 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 very problematic for these other nations, man. So I got Isaiah 34. Oh, that's why. I am not getting this again. Obadiah verse 15 and 16 is talking about the other nations getting destroyed as well. Can't get it again, man. I used a certain tool and I went verse by verse to get every precept I could get out to relate into how I see the chapter, and then I also went into how I see each verse, and then I went into breaking it down as to who's right. And it was ChatGPT, obviously. And 9 times out of 10, when you give it enough information, ChatGPT is gonna say you're right. Man. They ain't gonna say you the dumb one. They're gonna say, "Oh, I'm wrong." Yep. They artificial intelligence. They freaking stupid, right? They got a lot of tools though, man. I ain't saying they ain't useful, but doctrines come along with that. So I'm going on the 2 hour mark. I'm gonna try and run this down and finish it up. I still got quite a few precepts, but I got half a page left, so I might be done in about half an hour. It's rather here nor there. I don't care, right? This is Revelation 14, verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, man. Right. Babylon have been a golden cup, man, and causing all nations to drink of the wine, man. And I already mentioned Isaiah 66, verse 15. I'm not getting it, man. Right? I'm just trying to make sure whatever I got already, I'm not getting again, man. You should know some of these precepts that I'm skipping over, man. They like typical Israelite doctrine, man. A typical Israelite go into it, man. They not gonna do too much different, right? So this Jeremiah 25 and 15. So I'm gonna read through this pretty quick, right? It says, "For thus saith Yahweh Shaltazabah, or Yahweh Alahayim Shal Israel, unto me, take the wine, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause the nations to whom I send thee to drink it, and they shall drink and be moved and be mad, because the sword that I will send among them." So the Lord is sending a sword amongst them, right? Then I took the cup at Yahweh's hand, right, and made all nations to drink unto whom Yahweh hath sent me, to wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and an astonishment and hissing and a curse, as it is this day. This is talking about us being scattered throughout all the nations, right? Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, right, and his princes and all his people. This talking about America, right, and all the people mingled. And all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ascalon, and Azah, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Sidon, and all the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Timnah, and Buz, and all that are in the uttermost corners. That's Edomite nations, if I'm not mistaken, or Edomite tribes, and all the kings of Arabia, the kings of the mingled people that are dwelling in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, all the kings of Elam, all the king of Med, right? And this is basically going to what nation have not had a part in her iniquity, right? But therefore thou shalt say unto them that say Yahweh Tazabawa, the God of the Allah High, shall Yasharallah, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I shall send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thy hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Tazabawa, ye shall certainly drink. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and it should be ye, Salakia, and should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith Yahweh Tazabawa. So this is basically saying the Lord is going to make all nations drink of this wine, man. And you can't refuse it. And then he's going to cast judgment upon you. But he only causing them to drink of the wine at this certain time because the children of Israel sinned, man. In verse 29, it says, for lo, I began to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And verse 30, therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahweh shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth from Yahweh. For Yahweh have a controversy with the nations, and he will plead with all flesh. right? He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh. So the Lord gonna take these people to the sword, man. Thus saith Yahweh, Tazabawa. Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, and the slain of Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. The word is basically saying that all the other nations, man, it's gonna be like shit upon the ground, like a dog that shit on the ground, man. Nobody gonna come back later and pick up a 3-day old shit, man, from a dog. Eventually, what's gonna happen is gonna get smeared into the ground, man. Become one with the pavement, man. Like bring forth from flowers or something, man. Fertilizer. This is what the Lord is basically saying what He doing with the other nations, man. He turned them to fertilizer, man. So that was 15. So now I got Zephaniah 3. So it's even like Zechariah has been a huge topic, man. Zephaniah has been heavy in here, man. Obvious ones like Isaiah, Jeremiah, a little bit of Daniel. Second address I hit a couple times, man. Revelation, man. Daniel, like it's Obadiah. Keep on going up to, man. This is a lot of like repeated books in the Bible that I keep on going back to, man, because we see these same ideologies in these same books, man. This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 3, verse 8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, right, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, right, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." It's not actually, well, the Lord, He's going to do what He got to do with this, man. He's going to do what He got to do with this place, man. Now, verse 17. This verse is actually going into literal historical events, man. Right? And I already touched base on this at the beginning of the video, man. But I'm going to reiterate what I went into already at the beginning of the video, man. So this is Isaiah 13:17. "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." Cyrus, king of Persia. That's the Medes. This is what this verse is exactly talking about. This is talking about Nebuchadnezzar falling. This ain't talking about Babylon at all. Right? Because even here, you won't be able to take gold or silver up out of it, man. Well, technically speaking, yeah. Some people might say that this is talking about the Iranians, which would go into the current state, man. But no. All nations going to partake in the destruction of America, man. The Medes were going up against Babylon, man. This is specific to Babylon, ancient Babylon, the Babylonian Empire, man. So, it is what it is, man. So, basically, Babylon fell to the Medo-Persian Empire, man. The last king of Babylon, right, was Belshazzar, man. Cyrus the Great came up afterwards, man. Let's get some information on this, right? Out the Bible. We ain't just gonna go with our own words, man. Because most of this stuff, you could just do a quick Google search, look up Belshazzar, verse 25. So this Daniel chapter 5, verse 25, it says, and the writing that was written, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, God have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. This is a prophecy, man. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and art found waiting. Right? Perez, the kingdom is divided and kingdom is given to Medes and Persians, Medo-Persian Empire. Verse 29, then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. And that night Belshazzar, king of the Chaldeans, slain, and Darius the Median, not Cyrus the Great, but Darius the Mede, right, took the kingdom, being about 62 years old, man. Darius the Mede took the kingdom, man.
Just like the Bible says, the Medes took it, man. Right? I don't know why I have written here there is Cyrus the Great, but it's rather here nor there, man. Right? Maybe Cyrus the I don't know. Don't matter. But like I said earlier, man, this was obviously before a prophecy about Babylon prior to Babylon coming into existence, because this was 100 years before Babylon took the rule, and then after that they had a short reign, man. But yeah, man. I already went into most of this, man. So I'm not gonna go too much further with that. I've already touched base on every point I made. I rewrote down just in case I wanted to do it at the beginning or right now. But I've already touched base with that to clarify some points in the scriptures, man. So this is Isaiah 39, Salakia, verse 5. And it says, then said Isaiah to Hezekiah, hear the words of Yahweh Tazabawath, right? Behold, the days come that all that is in thy house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store until this day shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, saith Yahweh. And thy son and of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and shall be eunuchs in a place of the king of Babylon. Eunuchs. Isaiah 56, eunuchs, Israel, not everybody, but this is prophecy, man. Israel goes into captivity under the Medes, man, or under the right. It's easy, man, and that's Judah, more specifically, man, right? Because where was the northern kingdom, man? Assyria, right? Assyria had most of the reign, man. They were in rule, man. Right? Assyria fell to the can't even really say that, but the Babylonian Empire rose after the Assyrians came to a fall, man. Let's see, where was I at? Isaiah 39. We already got this chapter. Jeremiah 51 verse 11. It reads, make bright the arrows, gather the shields, Yahweh have raised up the spirit of kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Reiterating what's being said, right? I don't have to break that down. It's simple, right? And then we going down. I should have just a little mark there, because that's the same chapter, right? Verse 28, prepare against her the nations with the kings of Medes, right? The captains thereof and all the rulers thereof and all the land of his dominion, man. Right? You got to get the nations, man. We we see it that the other nations had part, but they fell by the Medes, man. Right? And they going into 17, man. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver. The Medes were the ones who set the charge, man. We don't see a global aspect of anybody coming and making war with the Babylonians, man. Right? Research it though, man. Get the research for yourself, man. So verse 18. Their bows shall also dash the young men to pieces, right? And they shall have no pity on the fruit of their womb, and their eyes shall not spare children, man. Right? Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14, right? It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against her, man. Against Yahweh, right? So, it's just simple, man. This is simple, right? We don't have to keep on driving in the point, man. Right? We don't have to keep on driving in the point, only because we understand that this ain't about, this here is talking about weapons of war, man. Outside of here, man. The other nations, the bows, right? They're talking about ICBMs, but this talking about all the world, man. Guns, high artillery weaponry, man. High power ammunition, man. That's what this going into, man. Dashing them to pieces, man. Where was that verse? 18? Is that 18? Yeah. So I've already got the first one out of 18, Jeremiah 50 and 14, right? So now, 2nd Ezra 16:13. I remember getting that. Oh, 2nd Ezra 16. Let's get 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows that shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when he begin to shoot into the ends of the world. America gonna get some nukes off too at that time, man. Now, all America not gonna be the only one getting nuked, man. Right? So and then it's gonna be finding and thrusting through, man. Right? America is the global headquarters of Babylon the Great, but it's a global scale, man. Right? But America is the one that's gonna be the face of judgment. All the other nations gonna have be searched through and done in it, man. Done in it. They're gonna be done in. Right? Okay, that was it for that? No. Joel 2. Okay, I gotta get this too, man, because I actually didn't get this yet. So I got Joel 2, 1 and 2. This is verse 3. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them as a desolate wilderness. Yea, nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them as the appearance of horses, as a horseman, so they shall run. So shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, and the noise of flames of fire that devour the stubble, as strong people set in battle. So, battle array. So we see in that all nations coming against them, man, and then they gonna basically be destroyed, man. Let's get verse 19, and then we almost done with this, man. A few more verses left. In Babylon, the glory of the Chaldeans, the beauty of the Chaldees, right, Salakia. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms and the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Really not getting too many precepts on this, man. I'm going to get this one because a lot of it is just reiterating what I've already read. So I'm going to get this one first because I've already got this and it's saying the one thing that I want, right? So this is Revelation 18 and 10, right? It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, man. Right? Let me just get in this camera because I'm actually getting kind of bogged down, man. Ready to be done with this, man. Jeremiah 50, verse 40, it says, as God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, right, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Let's talk about Babylon now, right? Let's actually go here and make sure, right? Ooh, you see this? It's about Babylon, right? So in verse 40, it's about Babylon, right? It's God overthrew, but it's not about ancient Babylon, about America. Babylon's inhabited today. Ancient Babylon is what we know as Iraq. It's still inhabited. We don't see that. We don't see that in these prophecies, man. So it's got to be about America, man. Right? 13, 18, or 19, right? Or 20. No, 19. Right? This is talking about America, man. Right? And it says, so... I gotta get it, right? I want to go in this where I just had, but I'm going to get it off of here. Because it's just the next chapter, but still. It says Isaiah 14:4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased to go to city cease, man? The Lord is taking this place down, man. So now we're just going to read through the rest of the chapter. It says, this Revelation, Isaiah 13, verse 20. It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell from generation to generation. Right? It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Well, I've already mentioned, I just literally got Revelation 18:10. We don't got to get that again, man. And also 17 and 19, I've gotten that already. Jeremiah 50, verse 39 and 40, I just got wild beast. So this, I'm gonna just get verse 30. This is Jeremiah 50 verse 39. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Man. A wasteland. Revelation 18:2. I'm not getting that, and then yeah. I literally wrote the same thing down twice because it was 3 verses and I was going verse for verse, but I know that they all go hand in hand, man. So we see Isaiah 13, man. Some of it's about America, some of it already came to pass, some of it's twofold, man. A lot of it's actually twofold, right? When you get down to the nitty gritty, man, this is twofold prophecy here, man, right? A lot of it, right? Some of it is strict about America, strict about Babylon, the ancient Babylon. And then it's about America, man. We can see that. Hopefully, Yahweh Ratazah, we can see that, right? So with that, I want to say Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua